Warren Corman's impact on KU and higher education in Kansas spanned his 69-year career and will endure long after. He began as an architect for the state of Kansas, where he helped build a new field house for Fog Allen.
I think one of my biggest accomplishments that I had the most fun with was when I was the junior architect on this 6-man team doing Allen Fieldhouse. Fog Allen would come up about every Friday afternoon to the State House and look at the drawings, and he said, I want 17,000 seats, and I want 180,000 square feet. I don't give a damn about anything else, that's all. And at 1/8 scale, a seat is 3/16 wide on the drawings, and all drawn by hand.
Warren said he was the youngest architect on the job, and they made him count the seats to be sure there were 17,000. And Warren knew of one row of seats that had an inch or two advantage over all the other rows, and he could advise someone where to go to get the bigger seats and more room for their knees.
In 1966, Warren attended a Rotary Club meeting and was presented with a new challenge.
At Rotary, I was president of the Rotary Club in Topeka, and Max Bickford was chief executive officer for the regions. They had a 3-man office then, now it's 40. One day he said, Warren, we just got a new position for an architect in our office from the legislature. Would you be our architect? I said, why me? He says, well, you're the only one I know.
Warren would go on to serve as the architect for the Regents for 31 years, helping to build and improve the landscape of higher education all across our state. One of his crowning achievements occurred in the 90s. The project, Crumbling Classrooms, aimed to address the staggering backlog of deferred maintenance among the 600 buildings in the Regent system.
One day, Governor Bill Graves called me. He said, Gloria and I have an idea how we can raise 100 or 200 million with no tax increase. He said, well, we'll take half of the EBF we get every year and build a 15-year bond issue. So I got all the campus architects in. Everybody had a specialty on all the detail, on the boxes of detail to take to the legislature. Everybody was all in favor of doing it, seemed like, except one guy out in western Kansas. He was for the project, but not that much money. I got a pickup truck and got some campus architects and went around to every campus and got all the boxes of all the detail. And that Sunday, we piled all those boxes in there. He couldn't even get in the office. And we knew it would pass because I'd talked with everybody about it. And you don't go talk to people about things you want when you want them. You talk to them early on, years ahead, so they trust you. Senate voted 40-0. Over in the House, a few days later, the vote was 124-1. The governor said, Warren, I'm going to fly down to Wichita, and I'm going to sign the original bill tomorrow, and I want you to fly down with me. And when he got it all through, he said, now I'm going to sign it. He says, Warren, I want you to come up here. And he signed the original bill and gave it to me.
In 1997, Warren was once again approached to accept a new challenge, this time in Lawrence.
Chancellor Hemingway went to him and convinced him that Warren was needed on campus to help do the sort of things he did for us, for all the other construction projects that the chancellor had in mind. And so I was always been amazed at that. At a time, most people would have been seeking retirement or would have been retired for some time, speaking of me personally, that here he was, took on a whole new job with great enthusiasm.
He's a good guy, the best, but he also is someone who gets things done. And so frivolity aside, good humor aside, there are times when you need to drive it home what needs to get done, and Warren could do that because he had created those great relationships with people all over campus.
As campus architect, Warren led hundreds of projects across multiple KU campuses, including the Dole Institute of Politics, Hall Center for the Humanities, the Multicultural Resource Center, Anderson Family Football Complex, and the renovation of Jayhawker Towers.
Jayhawk Towers, it was a tired building. And I remember I had Chancellor Hemingway, hey, would you just meet me over here one day? And he walked in, he said, this is where our best academic students, this is where we're putting them. And I said, I don't know where you're putting the academic students, but this is where you're putting the athletes. And because it was like a scholarship, kind of a reward for being great academically, they could stay in the towers. And he walked in and looked at one room, he said, we're renovating. And actually, they did a fantastic job. And then, of course, Warren played a role in that as well. And
Warren's many architectural talents and his leadership have helped create the beautiful KU campuses cherished by generations of Jayhawks. So it's no surprise that he has earned many awards. His honors include the Distinguished Engineering Service Award, Distinguished Alumnus of the School of Architecture and Design, a Lifetime Service Award from Kansas Athletics, and Grand Marshal of the 2011 Homecoming Parade.
the thing about Warren that I thought was always so cool is he's just like the Naismith rules of basketball. Big time, totally understated. And that's how I would depict him too, big time, but never wanted to call attention to himself.